Now, it's time for us to get to know our first speaker. He is a supervising science research specialist from the DOST ASTI's Research and Development Division. He is also a technology manager with more than 15 years of experience in software development with strong technical knowledge and management skills. He is also an associate professor at the Polytechnic University of the Philippines Institute of Technology. He is here today to give us an introduction and overview of the business process management in the government, together with some case studies and a discussion of initiatives and challenges. Please welcome Mr. Paul John M. Serrano.
Good day, everyone. I'm Paul Serrano, and along with my colleague Jessica, we will be discussing business process management, or commonly known as BPM, and how it can help and applied to the government. Our talk for today will focus on the implementation of BPM concepts, standards, and strategies in a public sector setting. Today's discussion will be primarily on improving the government's mandate to provide fast and efficient services to its citizens using the BPM. We will talk about some case studies, initiatives to be done, and challenges ahead by public sector agencies related to the implementation of BPM. We will also try to differentiate and relate the business process management to the concept of government process management. And lastly, we will provide some recommendations on how we can capacitate our own government in order to maximize the benefits of a BPM technology with the support of the industry and academia. In terms of public service, every government's vision is to provide fast, reliable, and finest services to the citizens. This is why improvement and transformation of government process are very important. While fast-changing technology leads innovation, process efficiency must be the main focus in achieving the government's core objective: better process management and efficient public services. And the days are gone when citizens' patience favors the government's process inefficiencies. It is a long overdue but not a developing story of a struggle in getting a better service that every citizen deserves. The failures in the process can be easily determined when the following choices are still happening. The process is time consuming, like you have to allot at least a day just to transact with a single government agency and go back after a week to claim the results of your transaction. Requires lining up in a long queue. Without a proper queuing system, citizens are forced to wake up early in the morning to just fall in line and to avoid the cutoff on the number of clients to be served for that day. Lots of diverting steps and repetitive requirements. Example, if you're trying to get a government ID, you are required to present a valid identification, which is also issued by the government. And people always ask for a faster and easier way, and not forced to engage and patronize the culture of fixers and express services. So, how do we correct this? With the advent of technology and innovation, they paved the way for a greater exploration of the decision makers in providing the best services and solutions to the citizens. Why and how process still fail when technology and automation are already in place? It is because an executed process which produces results that may not be useful for both the management, or in this case the government, and the end users or the citizens, means that you are doing something while having nothing. Every effective and efficient process design aims to deliver something valuable at the very end with reduced resources such as budget and time. When process owners cannot determine their process contribution and performance enhancement, reassessment is highly needed to figure out which step of the process should be modified, or maybe even the whole process itself should be modified. Lack of perception on how process resemble, delivered, and improved makes a leeway for progress failures. Business process solutions are continuously explored, like adapting the concepts and practices of proper business process handling that are useful and convenient. Understanding how business process management works will promote organizational success. That is a discipline that will withstand ongoing process context changes, order, and vague recurrence. Insistence on process management concepts and skills is the starting point of delivering efficient processes that will effectively provide better service to the citizens. The streamlined process will allow the government to undertake its mission and objectives, granting the needed transparency, growth, and overall performance with less budget and time spent. Maximizing the use of technology could be a big help, but having a solid foundation, well-defined and streamlined process will complement and establish the essence of each other. While businesses and other private entities are busy with their own challenges in process handling and improvement, the public sector is constantly coping up with bulk processes. These bulk processes make up the whole structure, functions, and core objectives that must be delivered with a specific timeline, starting from the small internal office work routines up to the large frontline services being offered to the citizens. Before going further, let's define what a BPM is. By definition, business process management is a discipline which includes principles, methods, techniques, and tools to deliver business processes with the ultimate goal of improving them. Collectively, all of these factors lead to an outcome that is of value to an organization and its customers. It is a proactive approach to manage long-term challenges. Why BPM for the government? As government functions revolve around different processes, these processes make up the day-to-day cycle and transactions. But there are untrimmed processes that some may think only is a typical daily cycle, but in reality, swallowing a great value or great volume of time and value both on the government and its citizens, adding the poor experience and lack of effective process management. An inefficient process does not only define the incapability of the processor, but the process owners as well. We know that everything is process driven, starting from the internal process up to the frontline services dedicated to the public. Process may vary from basic to complex, which require customized solutions. There are available templates, development frameworks, and tools, but needs customization in order to adapt to the different government process requirements. Since a government is divided into departments and or agencies which carry out different mandates and core responsibilities, using different templates or tools results in different output delivery. BPM technology is a predominant value in process management. Ironically, there are less use of it in the government than in business and other private entities. One of the reasons behind must be the already used to it scenario of just using spreadsheets and emails, limiting the line to be crossed for exploration and innovation. Harmonization will provide a diverse approach in helping to revamp the delivery of services to the citizens. Having homogeneous solutions will bridge the differences. This will lead in the creation of centralized and customized systems. We know that business process management is a discipline which includes principles, methods, techniques, and tools to deliver business processes with the ultimate goal of improving them. Relatively, government process management, or GPM, is a continuous improvement which shall sustain the prominence of public interest, authority, accountability, cost-effective measures, rapid government policy changes, and a lot more influences which inculcate the nitty-gritty of having a business process management being implemented on a public sector setting. Simply, GPM is the use of standard BPM principles and practices in the public sector environment. Over the years, public administration has gone through many significant changes. Although the dissemination of core responsibilities from the top government to the departments and agencies gives easier access to the general public, it also promotes differences and discrepancies in terms of process management. A holistic government approach and the citizen-centric public must complement each other to sustain the transformation. BPM can enable government agencies to better manage administrative and constituent services. By integrating operations across siloed vertical process, it can enable perpetual collaboration to meet evolving challenges and better serve the people. Transitioning and converting manual government process to automated workflows requires an exceptional process analysis and reengineering. Since the majority of the process use human intervention, the user roles must be properly gathered and included in the proposed solutions. Simplifying and cutting all the redundant steps will eliminate the wasted time and resources. Because implementing BPM solutions and technology is a complex premise, learning from the ones who have the experience is very beneficial. We take a look at some of the case studies of successful BPM implementation in the public sector. An article published by Villanova University enumerated several examples on how some government agencies around the world used BPM to improve and increase their efficiencies for public service. In Australia, for example, BPM is used to make a parliamentary workflow that disentangles communication between workers in the government. By lessening the time and effort it takes to contact a fellow lawmaker, energies are refocused on their legislative work and citizen interaction. This allows the government to work more effectively. A study conducted by Abdul Latif and Tariq Rahim Sumro, which focused on the analysis and implementation status of BPM in a local government entity in Fujairah, United Arab Emirates, highlighted the reason why BPM is a great asset to an office. To portray the importance of BPM implementation and its benefits to the organization, one process was automated. After redesigning, optimizing, and implementing the process, it enhances the process, eliminates an intermediary step, and improves better management. The future work will include the implementation of other departments and their process using BPM in the organization and utilizing the full functionality of the BPM tool already procured. Also, the statistics of this process can be used as a benchmark for other local offices. A paper authored by Thomas R. Golage Jr. and Rainier A. Sommer addressed the benefits of public sector process management and incentives in the implementation of business process management methodologies. The primary benefit of business process management in the public sector is the increased effectiveness and efficiency achieved from restructuring the organization along cross-functional process. For example, by managing process, the U.S. Department of Defense can better integrate warfighting perspectives and priorities with resource management. In the private sector, this is equivalent to the increased focus on managerial accounting through activity-based management. Many new Department of Defense management initiatives require process management, and it is impossible to implement process management concepts under the old industrial age management models. BPM tools, practices, and technology are excellent elements in any organization to carry out and integrate various functions and processes. However, the BPM itself will be meaningless without taking the necessary initiatives to support the implementation. The drive to push improvement must take a lot of effort from BPM practitioners. Some of the initiatives needed for a successful BPM implementation are as follows. A clear roadmap and direction should be transparent and discussed on the time ahead of the planned implementation. With every improvement comes a precise plan and timeline. Trust and active involvement of top management. The involvement of the management is very important in the implementation. They should be able to listen and accept every idea that can help to enhance their process. Having trust in the capabilities of all the employees will build a good atmosphere, resolve urgent issues, thus will result in better process improvement. Definition of process that are worth automating. During process analysis, this is the key idea and first step on achieving process improvement. While all process needs improvement, not all fits for automation. Complete insight into operations will help in determining whether the process is worth automating or not. Training for employees should be provided and must always be included in the process improvement. Full knowledge on how to use BPM software is needed so that they can perform efficiently. And then choosing the right BPM software that suits the specifications and requirements of the organization is very critical. Investing in a workflow tool is never an easy decision. This is the reason why decision makers should review and check the tool features before getting the right software. Every organization who seeks improvement and progress to their business process must face and address the different challenges and difficulties during implementation, transition, and adaptation to new strategic process management techniques. Here are some of the challenges in BPM implementation illustrated in a study conducted by Villanova University. One of the greatest challenges is to determine what exactly the organization wants the BPM to do. An unclear start and finish will lead to project failures. To avoid this kind of difficulties, management needs to fully understand their status before beginning any project. Defining the goal from the beginning will lead the management on the right path of success. Key performance indicators or KPIs are the metrics used to evaluate business improvement success. These are the markers which help the business performance kept on the right track. Management has to be careful and ensure that the defined KPIs are aligned to the business goals. Lack of support often leads to negative results in any projects. Successful implementations basically include some top-down control. The motivating force from the process owners brings successful outcomes and ensures that everything runs smoothly as expected. In order to value BPM projects, proper documentation must be implemented. Every success and failure must be recorded to support continuous process improvement. This will also help the management to conclude and measure the success that will be used for the succeeding BPM projects. Before implementing a BPM project, it is important to fully understand its purpose and essence. Some think that BPM is just merely a useful tool or technology that can result to be dormant and obsolete. The misconception of its essential purpose will lead to misuse and failed process design or execution. It should always be about change and improvement, as it is a discipline rather than just a subject matter or technology. Proving the worth of using BPM must start from small benefits to huge achievements. It is a gradual process of reminding the management of the capabilities that draw benefits from time to time. It is imperative to maintain open communication with management and help the organization see the true value of BPM. And lastly, applying changes to one's process doesn't happen overnight. It is a continuous cycle of enhancements and discoveries along the way. BPM users shall take into consideration that process mapping and process improvement must be done together. Focusing on just mapping the process without ensuring that improving comes with it will only produce automated as-is processes and not streamlined process with value in the end. I will now turn you over to my colleague Jessica to talk about capacity and capability building on the BPM.